1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, here we go. It's a Monday, a Reaction Monday on the show. In the Bureau, that is the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. In fact, you know, it's appropriate. We talk about Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance being the home team because they really do support sports at all levels in the state of Mississippi and at the college level. And our home teams in Mississippi are still playing baseball. Well, not actively as we speak. They're going to play tonight. That's right. I was looking at that. All the Mondays are night games, so everybody got some rest, right? And you got Ole Miss, one win away from a super regional. They've just got to beat the 4 seed. And Southern Miss, one win away from a super regional, and they've just got to beat the 4 seed. And no, I'm wrong. They got to beat Miami, right? They already beat the 4 seed. They got to beat Miami. Okay. Yeah, so baseball is the topic. And I know, I'm sort of burying the lead here. But State's got themselves a new baseball coach. They didn't waste any time, did they? And let me just say, I'm here barely. I don't know what this crud is that's going around, but we picked it up this weekend, and it is no fun. And I think I can disguise my voice where you can't really tell, but I have a cough button that, you know, if I need to cough or blow my nose, I can just do this. See, you didn't hear anything, did you? Yep. So I'm with you for an hour today, and we're gonna power through, have a power hour. Something's going around. I don't know what it is. All right, get on in here. You can comment on the live stream if you're on YouTube or Facebook or elsewhere. So just drop a comment over there. And you can also text me, on the Country Pleasing text line, Country Pleasing Sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. The number to text is 885-3776. That's a 601 number, 885-3776. And, hey, look. Speaking of Country Pleasing, y'all know Henry? Anybody that's ever been down there, you might have run into Henry. You know, he's the man. Country Meat Packers, started by Henry Cooper and fam. And Henry has a son playing baseball at Arkansas Little Rock, and they just beat LSU last night. They're one win away from a super regional themselves as the 4 seed. I'm telling you. I mean, to make it this far. And what is it? Coach Curry, Chris Curry is the head coach there at Arkansas Little Rock, who's a former Diamond Dog. So there's all kind of cool stuff going on out there. So feel free to text me on the Country Pleasing text line. And the phone line's open to you. The number to call, 897-1059. That's a 601 number, 897-1059. I want to check up here. Let's see. The first text I got on the Country Pleasing text line is from Grumpy. And he said, Matt, Grumpy was so proud of the Bulldogs' grit and effort. Coaches, too. Who Grumpy has grown fond of. He said, let's see, but so excited about MSU's move forward. Great things to come. Hail State baseball. And then he also said, Matt, you got to mention Jake Mangum. Look, one of the coolest stories I saw all weekend was Jake Mangum called back up to the majors. They're playing in Houston against the Astros. He hits his first career home run. His mom and dad are there watching. They put the cameras on him. She's filming it with the cell phone and everything. They got interviewed on the broadcast. It was just a really cool thing. And then the story of the guy who caught the baseball, traded it back to Jake Mangum for a signed Jake Mangum baseball bat. So there's your Mangum update, Grumpy. Appreciate you, buddy. But I got another real quick look. Yeah, okay, sports. Just hang on. I need to say hey to Beav real quick, and I got something I've got to ask him about some programming that popped up here recently that I didn't even realize we were on the doorstep of this until Beaver alerted me to it a couple of days ago. Beav, happy Monday.
You too, Matt Wyatt.
So is this King of the Hill thing, is it real? It's here? Like it's here? Like the show is on?
It's real after a very strange weekend of King of the Hill related stuff.
Like what?
Okay, so the event, they were having a preview event on Friday in Austin, and that's where they premiered the new Open, and that's where the cast reunited, and they got together and they had a reunion event. But, and I've been following this for a couple months now, the guy who voiced John Redcorn.
Okay, yeah.
This guy came out, it was back in like April. Well, first he was in the news because back in January he lost his house in a fire.
Oh,
which
no.
That's terrible.
That is terrible.
It comes out a couple months later, I think it was back in April, and he was on Facebook talking about how he was not invited back to the new series.
Oh, no.
And there seemed to be some kind of bad blood. Fast forward to Friday, they had the event and the cast without John Redcorn. They reunited. They were up on stage talking all the stuff.
Yeah.
John Redcorn, we're using that like it's his real name. John Redcorn crashed the show.
Oh, he just showed up.
He just showed up, and it said he went in talking about like how he said they won't give me a platform to speak. Like someone there was talking about how it was really a weird situation. That was Friday. Allegedly, the cops had to haul him out.
Oh, no.
Saturday, at his house in Texas, he was shot and killed.
What?
Yeah.
They took him out.
Beaver.
They took him out.
Wait a minute. You're not making this up. This is not a joke.
No. This is all real. This is all in a 4-day span, 3 days.
He was shot and killed at his house?
And the report, at least so far, said it was his neighbor.
Wait just a minute. That's just too strange. His neighbor. So the report is the neighbor did it. So it makes you wonder if he was losing his mind. Like, did he try to break in the neighbor's house or something?
Yeah, I see. I don't know.
Whoa.
It's very weird. Happened mighty close to each other. All these incidents.
Good night. I don't even know how to segue from that, B. And then what? Then the show has actually now aired. You can actually watch the show now?
So they're going to release the full 10-episode season on August 4th.
August 4th. And it's coming to what? Netflix?
Hulu.
Hulu? Okay.
Which means now I have to get Hulu back.
Dadgum, that's what I thought. Nah, if I want to see it, I'm going to have to maybe when they release it, we do one of these free trials of Hulu. We have to cancel within 7 days. Well, anyway, I appreciate the update. I'm excited. The thing, though, that kind of weirded me out, Beaver, was when you sent me that picture and I realized this, or in that picture that was in that link about the new King of the Hill, is that it's a cartoon version of the grown-up Bobby Hill. Bobby Hill is all grown up. And I just kept looking at it, and for whatever reason, I could not wrap my head around it. I've never seen cartoon characters grow up into an adult before, Beaver. Name one that you've ever seen grow up into an adult, a cartoon character.
There hasn't been, because the Simpsons have looked the exact same for 34, 35 years
That's
now.
what I'm saying. It never happens.
Oh, and did you see the story? Like what this new series is going to be about?
No. Wait a minute. Yeah, that they had gone overseas or something and came back.
Yeah, like Hank went over. Hank
In
and
the
Peggy
world?
had moved to Saudi Arabia
What in the
to
world?
work a propane gig so that they could earn their retirement nest egg.
Yeah.
And it picks up with them coming back to Arlen, and apparently they're just retired now.
Yeah. You know, like, are they going to have those same characters who the other guys, you know, the other guys that did the voices of Dale and Bill, who they both passed away, right? In real life?
Dale did.
Okay, Dale did, not Bill. Okay. So I wonder if we're going to have that character or not.
Yeah, they said before he passed, he had voiced 6 episodes.
Okay. So they had some stuff.
And they are planning,
All right.
at least one report I saw, they are planning for a different cast member to take over after that, voicing Dale.
Okay. All right. Well, there it is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump straight to the phone line to More Bully, who's waiting. He'd fit right in. He'd fit right in with Hank Hill and the rest of them. And then I'm coming to your texts and your comments on the live stream. They're starting to pile up. I promise I'm going to get to them. We're not going to ignore that. Right now, over to the phone line, the Divinity Equipment phone line. More Bully, line 1. What's up, More Bully?
Dadgummit, Bobby.
That's good enough.
It's me. It's the MOORE. Bully.
What's up?
Matt Wyatt. I think JP did an outstanding job filling in as coach.
Yeah, I did too. I thought Parker, Gotro, whole staff team, everybody is to be commended, you know, for what they did.
Yeah. And pretty excited about the new coach.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens, but hadn't he been to 7 CWSs? Isn't that right?
Yeah, and he's won one.
Got one natty.
Mm-hmm.
So, any movement with Lamonis that you're hearing?
No, I hadn't heard a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd just take off and our him. So, I don't know. But I mean, I didn't know about this King of the Hill thing. That's pretty exciting.
Is
But
it? Are you being sarcastic?
Kind of weird. No, I hadn't heard anything.
Yeah. Well, you got to look it up. It's here. I hadn't heard any of that stuff that Beaver was telling me, though.
Beaver must be, whatever you call it, not addicted, but fandom, big time.
Well, he's just into it.
Well, today all 8 teams get set, right?
Yes. That's right.
Okay.
You've got a bunch of these series
How
that
many
have gone to Monday
Southeastern
games.
teams are left?
How many what?
How many SEC teams are left?
You got Tennessee's playing Wake Forest, Oklahoma's playing North Carolina,
Huh?
Ole Miss playing Murray State, LSU versus Little Rock, and that's it.
Dang. Let's go, Marys. What's their mascot?
What are they? The Racers? I think they're the Murray State Racers or something like that.
Like a face razor?
No, Racer. Like a. I don't know. Like a. I was going to say like a snake, like a black racer, but that's obviously not their mascot. Maybe it's a road runner.
Oh, RACER, like a car racer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
I'm looking
For
it
sure.
up. I'm looking it up right now.
Well,
Yeah,
last thing,
they're the
you have a good
racers, but
weekend?
it's a horse.
Oh, okay. And did you have a good weekend?
Yeah. Had a great weekend. Was spent all day Saturday in the car. Annabeth and Mary
That's
Liddy
not a
were
good weekend.
well. It was good. Annabeth and Mary Liddy were in Oxford most of the weekend for a wedding for a family member.
I'm sorry to hear that.
As a family member on Annabeth's side. And get this, so the wedding was like Saturday evening in Oxford. Well, Mary Liddy had to be in Vicksburg to sing in a inspirational country music competition at noon. So
Oh, my goodness.
I picked them up in Oxford Saturday morning, drove them down to Vicksburg. She sang right back in the car, drove them right back to Oxford just in time to get there for the wedding that night. And the cool thing is,
That's not a good weekend, Matt.
well, it was. Here's why. Right after Liddy sang, the judges got together and they walked outside with her and they said, "Hey, we just want to let you know that you're going to the finals." And the finals for this thing she's in, she gets to sing on the Grand Ole Opry stage in Nashville. Isn't that cool?
Come on.
Yeah, seriously. We don't know the date yet, but she'll be, in that, and she'll get to have that experience. And really, so it kind of made the whole weekend great.
Well, I've actually done that.
What?
I sung on the the Grand Ole Opry stage.
Yeah.
I got arrested, but I did it.
Come on now. That's a great story.
So that's the way it goes. But anyway, hey, I'm going to ask a personal favor. Can I?
Yep.
Will you mind including me in your prayers?
Yeah, I'll definitely do it.
I'm having some pretty bad knee issues.
Okay.
I got steroid shot Friday, but it didn't take this time. And I'm in some severe pain, brother.
You hurting?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
Okay.
Nauseated from it, from the pain.
I hate to hear that. That's awful.
Yeah.
Well, look, hang in there. I will
It's
pray
brutal.
for you.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Y'all have a good one.
You too. Have a great one. That's more bullet. Y'all pray for his knee. Yeah, and Rick, I saw the message there on your comment on Facebook, and it's just the phone call deal. I don't know what it is. I may be standing on a cord here, but the echo is only when I'm on the phone, so it's fine. That's just coming down there. I don't think on radio they're hearing that echo. Well, let me do this. Yeah, it's still early in the show. It still kind of sort of feels like right off the top. Let's do headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group. Powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Mortgage Man Group. Look them up online at mortgagemanms.com. Mississippi State made it official last night within minutes after the end of their season that they had hired Brian O'Connor as the next Mississippi State baseball coach. He comes to state from Virginia with a heck of a resume. I was looking here at the numbers they sent out in the press release. They said they're going to have an event to introduce him on Thursday night. You're going to have fans and media there. Thursday night, public welcome event at 7 p.m. at Duty Noble Field Thursday night for Brian O'Connor. He's got a .702 winning percentage in his career as a head coach. Won the College World Series in 2015. He's been there 7 times. 18 tournament appearances at Virginia. 9 super regionals in those years at Virginia. He was the 5-time ACC Coach of the Year. On and it goes. And maybe even, nowadays an even more important byline under his name or on his resume as anything else is 102 MLB draft picks that he's coached. That's a pretty significant number, 102 Major League Baseball draft picks. So Brian O'Connor comes to State to take over the baseball program. News official of that last night as State's season ended with a 5-3 loss to Florida State. And they'll introduce him at a public event on Thursday night. All right, so here are your games tonight. Final games that will decide who goes to a super regional and whose season is over. Win or go home. I've got y'all, tell me what you're seeing, but this is what I'm seeing for start times. I got a 5 p.m. first pitch, Ole Miss versus Murray State championship game of that Oxford Regional. I've got late 8 p.m. tonight, Southern Miss and Miami championship game in Hattiesburg, and I guess that's because of television maybe or something. See, I know at that same exact time at 8 p.m. is when they're going to start the LSU versus Little Rock deal. Arkansas Little Rock beat LSU last night to force this final game. Tennessee and Wake Forest are going to play tonight at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. Oklahoma and North Carolina, this is in Chapel Hill. That's a 2 p.m. first pitch here in just a little bit. And then the only other one that's happening a Monday championship game at a regional is out west in Corvallis. You got the host Oregon State versus Southern Cal. And I have a 5 p.m. Central start time for that. So if you look at it, that means you have 4 SEC teams left. After getting a whole bunch in, you got 4 left that have to win tonight to advance. So there's a chance that you could have 4 SEC teams in super regionals. There's a chance you could have none and anything in between. And so it's pretty interesting how that all worked out and shook out. Now I got that wrong because there's others that have advanced. I mean, there's 4. You could have the opportunity of getting 4 in tonight. Is what I should have said. Because what? Let's see. Texas got bounced. Vandy got bounced. Arkansas is through, right? Didn't Arkansas go ahead and punch on through? Yeah, they beat Creighton. Georgia got bounced. Man, I don't know how. Kentucky got bounced. Auburn's already in. So Auburn and Arkansas have already punched through. But the thing about it is, I don't know how else you say it other than obviously it was not really a great regional weekend for SEC teams. And depending on tonight, it could be a lot better or it could be a lot worse. If you're the big bad SEC. Those headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank here in Mississippi. Look them up online, mortgagemanms.com. All right, coming to your text, J-Rock, Denzel, Patches, Miko, Bernie, all y'all, and your comments on the live stream, Rick, Bruce, JS290, Luke, and Sven, and everybody. Coming to you next. Back after this. Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. Say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. murraywest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that, what that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com, at a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here, leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them for a reason. Insurance doesn't happen for me.
Hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau. That is the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. I'm here with you, barely, hanging on. Beav is here, and thank goodness you're here, and we got the whole gang. Let's see. Let's go through some of the comments. Sven said on YouTube, let's break down the weekend. He said, we played Northeastern twice and put 𝐷𝐸𝐸 on the mound in Game 2. For what? Save his arm and bring Ligon. And, Ligon, he had some good stuff. I didn't watch a lot of baseball, but I sure did listen to a lot. I still have the voice of Neil Price and Jay Powell ringing in my ear. I listened to so much of it this weekend. And, man, they are so good. And yesterday, listening to Jay, it did sound like, at times, Ligon really flashed some really high-end stuff, but it was the non-competitive pitches. You get a 1-1 or a 2-1, and then you get a non-competitive pitch, and then a couple of control issues here and there. They just kept on getting out of it, but eventually, but it's hard to beat anybody. You go score 2 runs. I mean, that's it. See, and we got that comment too. Sven said, but 𝐷𝐸𝐸 would give at least 7 innings. You put Dotson behind him, we could win yesterday's game. JS290 said, wasn't MSU up 2-0 through 7? I know they were up 2-0 because you'd had, the leadoff home run, and then you'd had Powell hit one later. But you're not going to, how many times are you going to beat a Florida State scoring 2 runs, right? Florida State pitching probably their MVP for the weekend, especially in 2 games against State. Over to the text line, the Country Pleasing text line. Look at here with a picture to prove it. J-Rock said, Sunday afternoon watching baseball, a couple of pork tenderloins and some Country Pleasing original. Which reminds me, please allow me to remind you, put this on the calendar, because now it's not next month. Now it's this month. As we welcome ourselves to June the 2nd. Later this month, okay, you need to put it on the calendar, take part in this, and it'd be a chance to save some money. But also we're going to do a radio show out there at Camper Corral for their customer appreciation sale. All right, at Camper Corral up there, just off the exit there at Gluckstadt. 20% that during this sale, okay, the June 26th, 27th, and 28th. And right now, I think it's the 27th, that Friday, we're planning on doing a show up there. Camper Corral later this month, June 26th, 27th, 28th. Customer appreciation sale. 20% off of all parts that are sold during those 3 days. Also, they're going to have 25 to 40% off MSRP on all of their campers, and so the percentage will depend on which one. But think about that now. Some of them are going to be 40% off on those campers June 26, 27, 28. And then on top of that, anybody that does purchase a new or used RV in those 3 days, you're automatically entered into this drawing, and they're going to pull a name out for Flex Armor roof upgrade kits. Those things are anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 worth. So it's a really neat thing. I'm looking forward to it. And we're working on it. I'll have details later on. We're going to have some food. Right? I mean, why not? I mean, this is Mississippi. Let's have some food. We're going to gather. Let's eat something. So we're going to do that too. J-Rock, thanks for that. Your picture reminded me. Denzel texts the show. Said, I think Chicken Hawk was very excited about the baseball hire. So excited, in fact, that he almost ran me off the road this morning as he was hauling chickens to their new home. Is that a true story, or are you just making that up? Was it really him? Patches. No, look, Patches, you don't ever have to preface that you're gingerly here changing the subject. You don't have to, just bring it. You said, I know it's a big baseball day. However, have Beaver and you seen these for new Little Debbie's? They are Nutty Buddy cakes. I have not seen that. I'm trying to wrap my head around what this is. You know, you got the Nutty Buddy. We all know what that is from Little Debbie. This is a cake around it. I just got to get my hands on it so I can describe it. But it looks, hey, let's try it. Miko texted the show. He said, Matt, the guy that caught Mangum's home run ball was in Houston vacationing. He is a Rays fan. How cool and coincidental is that? That is really, really cool. Neat story. I'm glad Jake's back up. I got something to watch. I'm just being honest with you. Excuse me. Excuse me. Kenny, don't call me Ken. I mean, Kenny, you're never going to let Chris live that down on you. I realized that he was a little touchy about it because I was just picking on him in a fun way, and I started sensing that Chris Brooks was a little touchy about that comment that time about how getting to Omaha is really not that hard. And it's just one of those. He was making a point and not that point, and that's the thing that he got stuck with because I think maybe it just came out wrong. I don't know. Mailman David says that he's going to say a prayer for the MOORE. More Bully's knee has got him in the dumps, like the kind of pain that's making him sick, and I just hate to think about that. You know, and I'm going to be honest with you. I never in my life did I really have the ability to empathize and sympathize with people who were going through that kind of hurt. Something that hurts so bad, it just makes you sick, you know. Until I had the kidney stone experience. And now I have a whole new empathy and sympathy for anyone going through that. Real C texts the show. He said, hey, Matt, I'm excited about the future of state baseball and appreciate all that was done by Parker and crew. And, you know, again, so do I have the number right, Real C, that they went 10-4? From the time that Lamonis was let go, Parker went 10-4, or was it 11-4? It's one of those. I mean, he and they just did an incredible job, and the team did too. And no, that's not me reaching out there to pat him on the back for not winning a regional. I know, you know, they expect to host at state and all, but look at the circumstances that he had to lead them through. And here's the other thing about it. He said last night, Real C, that the coaching search stuff was a distraction and players were always asking him about it. Listen to what he said.
You know, I got kids upset on the bus on Wednesday and Thursday. I got all kind of flying around. It's just, I credit these guys for just staying focused, locked in. They love each other. They love playing for each other. You know, I wish a lot of the rumors weren't flying around. I wish there was a little bit more patience with the process, but I get it, of course. You know, we've been living in it for 4 or 5 weeks. It just, you know, what's really tough is to watch these guys work the entire year, you know, starting in in late July and August, and to go through all that for a chance to be in this position that we were in this morning or even this afternoon, and to have that hanging over us, and it's disappointing, but it's the way it goes. And I do credit a lot of these guys for having the maturity and the foresight to understand that the most important thing is enjoying each other and spending a lot of time with each other and having fun playing the game. And I'm proud of them for how they performed and how they behaved and how they handled themselves.
You had one more Q&A on that later in the press conference after the loss.
Well, it's just a distraction. I mean, it's all. It's impossible to quantify how it impacted this weekend, other than you're just managing personalities and things where you're trying to focus in on baseball and you got to deal with other stuff. So it's just the way it is.
Given all that, I didn't see it as complaining. I just did see it as reality of the kind of the situation they were in as a team and as a staff. And you think about it, you're Parker, you're Gautreaux, good and well. You got players who, at batting practice or, in the clubhouse that they're like, hey, coach, man, what's going to happen? You got any, are you staying? Are you going to, like, if the new guy comes in, are you still going to be here? Like, what's going on? That stuff was, and you're playing through all that. So my hat's off to them. I feel like they sort of, with where they were and with where it was when they took over, I think they maxed out. I really do. Hog Jowl texts the show. What's up, Hog Jowl? My man. He said, glad Hogs advanced to Super Regionals. Go Hogs. Matt, I want to make a quick comment about Mary Liddy, if that's okay. He said, over the years, I've had the opportunity to meet and hear some very talented musicians. Mary Liddy, hands down, is the best young music talent I have heard. Not only that, she has a very special heart that is good and kind. The sky's the limit for her. Surely you and Annabeth's cups runneth over. Have a great week. Man, I can't say thanks enough for the kind words. Really do. And Annabeth, like when she posted the picture of Mary Liddy holding her certificate that said, she's getting to go to the finals, and it says on there, you get to sing on the Grand Ole Opry stage and all. And she posted the picture, and the words Annabeth chose was, we're thankful that God continues to put a song in her heart. And really, like, I don't think for us as parents, we don't look at that as just a cool little slogan to put on a post on social media. We really mean that. We feel like he's just blessed her with the ability and the desire and the opportunities. It's like he's got his hand all over it, Hog Jowl. And as a parent, what more could you ask for? Literally, I couldn't ask for anything else. So thank you very much, and we appreciate you. You're a part of that. All right, we'll hit the phone when we come back. Stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. It's where it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. Being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work.
And worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Let's go to the phone line, the Divini Equipment phone line, where Winslow has been patiently waiting. What's up, Winslow?
Hey, Matt, you heard anything?
Say it again.
I said, have you heard anything?
Yeah, I have. What do you think?
Well, I tell you what, I'm excited. I'm very satisfied. It was a busy Sunday night. Your managing editor had gotten a tip from somebody outside of the SEC and the ACC last week, and so we'd had a draft sitting on our website since Wednesday. And, I was busy. We published 16 regional profiles last week. And so I'm in there, and I had to be very, very careful, going around and doing those, not to click on that one and publish it, because you got to wait until it's official. And so last night, once it was official, we, gathered up some additional stuff from the university and all that, and I'm ready to publish, and I noticed that Coach O'Connor's wearing an orange jersey. And I said, oh, no, that'll never fly. Okay. So then the software didn't want to let me change the picture. And so I wound up having to build a whole new post, and cut and paste over everything. And then finally, we got it out. But the excitement is just, it's like wildfire, The only thing I can compare it to is when Coach Sherrill was hired, And Coach Sherrill, obviously, well, I guess he had won a national championship too, hadn't he?
At Pitt, right?
Yeah, at Pitt. So anyway, that's about the only thing that I can compare it to. People are always looking for some kind of superlative. I guess that's what they do. This is the biggest and best and brightest in the history of the world.
Right.
And why? Because it happened in my lifetime. That's why.
Hey, do you find it interesting that he flew in there they announced it immediately within the hour after losing. He flew in there last night, and then the event is on Thursday. So I'm like, what is he going to do for 3 days?
Bring that up, and one of my first questions that I asked a couple of people was, is that the soonest that we're going to get an audience with him? The baseball media. So that may change. We may be standing in line at Duty Noble like everybody else. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, hey, and let me say this too, Winslow. Far be it from me to tell anyone else how to do their job, and this would be almost rhetorical advice that you don't have to take if you don't want to. But let me just say, as someone who has been watching videos of press conferences today on YouTube, don't feel the need to go on a long statement to preface your question. Don't feel the need to tell him everything he's ever accomplished in his career and then get to your question. I think more and more people need to know they can just ask the question.
I agree. And the novice that I am at this, and I'm sitting around, guys that have been doing this for years in all the sports, and I feel like I'm a walk-on there, Basically, I will sit there sometimes, and if I think of a question, a lot of times people ask it before I do, and I'll hold my hand up, and then all of a sudden I'll look at Logan and kind of, brush him off like, no, forget it, because the most embarrassing thing is for them to call on you and your question's already been asked. You look like a doofus there. So, what is it they say? Better to be thought a doofus than to open your mouth and confirm it.
Right.
There is one other thing, and Beaver and I were talking about that. He said somebody had mentioned Chris Lemonis, and I said, well, there's 4 words that Chris Lemonis deserves. Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah.
And I say that to all of the staff, because it was a very unfortunate coincidence that they're still having to play while all these things are going on. And I've never really subscribed to this mentality that fans have got to know everything. I will pay you any amount of money. I just want to be on the inside and know all the inside information.
Right.
And as someone who had to handle a lot of confidential information, during my career, I can appreciate people, that manage that. And every time something leaks out about something like this, my first thought is, who talk that shouldn't have?
I know.
The reason Greg Byrne got called the ninja is because Greg Byrne conducted a coaching search and very little of it got out. I mean, it was a surprise.
That's right.
When it happened, which is the way that generally, business is supposed to be handled. So anyway, I'm one of those that, when people would ask me who's going to be the new coach, I said, I don't know. When you find out, tell me.
Well,
anyway, like I said, our managing editor got a tip that he thought was pretty, solid last week. But my first thing was, you're the boss, but don't expect me to push the publish button until it's official.
Yeah, until it's official. Right.
So anyway, now that it is, yes, it's very exciting, and more important than that, it's very uniting.
Yeah.
There's very few people that are descending to this.
That's a good point. Really good point. Hey, man, Winslow, good to hear from you. Call me anytime.
Thank you as always, Matt.
Yep, thank you. And to Winslow's point, as he was saying that it's uniting, I was looking at this. So State's athletics department, they're going to try to, capitalize before you even have a practice, let alone, have a game. You're going to try to capitalize a little bit. And they're doing this thing here where they put it out on social within the last hour or so. It says, and it's from the official Mississippi State account, it says, support head coach Brian O'Connor through the State Excellence Fund and receive exclusive gifts. So if you give $100, you get a commemorative baseball. If you give $250, you get a custom pennant. $500 gets you a branded mini wooden bat. $1,000 gets you an exclusive cooler. $2,500 gets you a commemorative cowbell. And $5,000 gets you an MSU baseball jersey. I'm trying to capitalize. So why not? Positivity. See, you know what I thought? I was asking Winslow there about the idea that, announced him last night. He flew in, and then they're going to do the first big meet and greet and stuff on Thursday. So I guess there's an acclimation period here going to happen. But you know what I think? I think a big reason you have some time in here is because, and flew him in last night, is you get him on the ground. You want him there as soon as the team gets back. And you've got a few players who he has to convince them right away to stay on the team and don't transfer. And I would bet you that some of that, getting to know some of those players, like Reese and a few of those guys, that's the purpose for that, is that you don't want them waiting on him. He's glad to be there and wait on them to get back. And he's going to try to spend as much time with them and getting to know them and working on them to be a part of the team going forward. Before that's priority one. He's not going to do anything else. He's not moving. That's all he wants to do. I guarantee you. And then, coupled with that is, what are their demands, right? What dollar amount are they going to put on it, and where's that money going to come from? Yeah, see, Sven said Reese and Buckner will get big-time offers from a lot of programs. That's what I'm saying. And then it's like, how do those relationships form, and are they strong enough in a short period of time to really, feel confident and go out there and build on it? You got to strike those deals if you're him, right? It's a whole different thing than it used to be. Well, listen, y'all, I really do appreciate you. Gene, you said on Facebook, rumor has that O'Connor's going to hire the Wake Forest pitching coach. I think I've seen that too. It's a short show today. We got the crud around here. I'm dealing with it. Some more of us are dealing with it. And it's really hard to talk. If I didn't have a cough button, there'd be no way we could do this. So I'm going to go and get medicated and rest up, try to be 100% to roll with it tomorrow like normal. And I just appreciate y'all being here on the show. Thanks for the phone calls. Y'all keep more Bully in your prayers. He's got a bad knee, really hurting him. Thanks for the comments, the text. For Beaver, I'm Matt. All of us here on the show. We'll see you tomorrow. See ya.